So welcome back to my show. I finally came up with a name. It's called Blathers. I don't know if you guys have ever played Animal Crossing, but Blathers is the owl that works at the museum, and all he does is talk, and he talks extensively about things that are not that important, and that's what this show is. We're going to go into deep detail of things that don't actually mean that much, but are still I find interesting. So today we're missing Ryan. Ryan's on a leave of absence because he's doing fraternity stuff. I don't actually know if I could say anything more than that, but he's doing fraternity stuff. I don't know anything more than that, but I'm going to talk to you guys today about something I'm more interested in, something that he's not as interested in. I don't actually know if I need to wear these. I'm going to wear them. So, I should wear these. Just tell me how loud I am. So we're going to talk about AMD stock. We're going to talk about if it's viable, if it's worth getting. So I've had AMD stock for the past 6 months. And it's a roller coaster. It's a definite roller coaster. Like right now, this is why I chose the topic. Right now, it's up. It's up 3.2% from yesterday. So I mean, yesterday it was 31. I'll just read it to you. The opening of AMD was $31.90. So $31.90. It's okay. It's better than it usually is. It's usually at 29.30. But the problem with AMD stock is that AMD is Advanced Micro Devices. They make chips. I think they make most of their chips in China, which is a reason for why their stock was so low earlier. Their stock, I think it bottomed out at like $27 within like the past. With the 52-week low. Oh, well, okay. This 52 weeks is a long period of time. In the last 3 weeks, it hit 27. The 52-week low, that's actually $16, but that's 52 weeks. It's a long period of time, and I'm not going to account for that. It's a year, by the way. Math. The 52-week high is $35. So I bought relatively close to the high. Is stupid. This was when Intel which is AMD's main competitor, Intel was getting taken over. Their processing chips, their chips became more expensive and less. What's the word? Not as good. I don't know. Not as good as the AMD chips. The AMD chips are cheaper. Chipsets and CPUs for computers. The AMD CPUs are cheaper than the Intel CPUs, and as of recently, the AMD CPUs have been outperforming the Intel CPUs. They're different architectures, and that could explain why the Intel chips are more expensive. But just because the architecture is different doesn't mean it's better. Intel's architecture is great for video processing. If you were to use Blender, or if you were to use any refining tool, if you were to change formats of videos or do things along those lines, you definitely want an Intel. Intel has better processing power for that. But in regards to AMD, they are much better for the average consumer, and they're cheaper. So AMD typically they'll have extra cores. Most CPUs, it's not anymore, but most CPUs in the past were two like a duo core or a quad core. That's just how it would work. As of lately, they're hitting 12, 16 cores, which is insane. A core is a processing unit. I'm not going to go into detail about that. You're going to have to look that one up. But each core works in tandem. But some processes don't use every core. Like gaming in particular, uses at max 2 to 3 cores, depending on the game. Most games are being optimized to use more cores. That's why AMD is edging out Intel. But in the past, games usually only used 1 to 2 cores, and Intel could easily provide a comparable gaming experience for almost the same amount of price. AMD was doing it. Also, AMD's old chips used to have a huge heating problem, which caused them to be almost unusable. But back to the stock. So, sorry, I went a little off. This is the Blathers. Geez, yeah. So the stocks. I think I said 30 point. It's 3% right now. I'm not gonna round. I'm not gonna do the point. It's 3% up from yesterday. It's at 32.76, and if I round up, it's 32.77. I'm trying to decide if I should sell because it's not worth having. The only reason I'd have it is just so I can stay up to date on it because it's interesting. I have 2 shares. It's not a lot. It's nothing. It's insignificant to anything, but it's big to me. A share's $32, and I have a $31 share, so I could have $1. I could have one extra dollar. Oh my god, yeah. It's such an insignificant thing, but it's just so interesting. I could have bought more shares, but that would have been stupid. And back to the point. I don't think AMD is worth buying. Owning an AMD share is kind of like, it's AMD share is just not worth it. It's an interesting thing to watch. But it's definitely not a stock to invest in. If you had it in a portfolio of multiple stocks, no, not and even then, no, because there's no returns. You can't make annual returns off of AMD. They don't do dividends. So it's really just not a good stock to hold. Maybe within the next 10 years, AMD will officially, because it's not official yet, but AMD will officially edge out Intel. And if that happens, dividends might start. Well, dividends will start. There's no way they're not going to do that. And then hopefully AMD will be worth it by that. Now, I'm not saying buy now and wait till then, because you can't predict the future. But it's interesting. It's interesting to watch. Like if I pull up Intel right now, Intel's 56. It's $56. They're up 7% from yesterday, which, I mean, they opened at 54. They're at 56. It's yet again insignificant, but I mean, in a large portfolio of stocks, if you were to have thousands of Intel shares and thousands of AMD shares, this would be the time. I'm pretty sure, and I can probably open this up, that all of this is going on as of right now because Donald Trump said that he is not going to continue the tariffs on China, because all of these companies I'm talking about right now are chip processors, or AMD, Micro Devices, Intel's just Intel Corporation, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, no, it's interesting. Yeah, Donald Trump said that he was not going to continue the tariffs, and that the trade war is not over, but it's postponed. And it postponed is good enough for now. So, yeah, basically, I'm still unsure if I should keep this AMD share or not. And I think I just talked myself into keeping it. I think I just did that. I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea. It's a neutral idea, actually, because it's not that much money. It's not like I need the money. If I sold, I would just buy a mutual fund. I'd buy a share or a couple shares of or I buy into. Sorry, it's not shares. I'd buy into a mutual fund. Yeah, I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it. Yeah. So that's the show. Oh god. Yeah. So if you guys ever want to know about Intel or chip processors or anything along the lines of that, please leave a comment. If you're interested in anything, leave a comment. I'll talk about it. Uh, almost anything. Um, yeah, definitely. Please comment. um, Topics are not hard to come by, but it's more interesting if it's interesting to people I'm talking to. All right, y'all take it easy.